Have you ever noticed how some men never chase women and yet women seem to chase them? He doesn't post fancy dinners, doesn't flirt in every chat, doesn't even try, and still, she's thinking about him when she's with someone else. Why? Because he knows something most men don't. He understands a piece of dark psychology that Machiavelli wrote about 500 years ago, a principle used by kings, generals, and seducers, but lost in the noise of modern dating. This isn't about tricking women. It's about mastering perception and learning the most dangerous form of seduction, control over yourself. That's the true Machiavellian art. Machiavelli taught men how to influence others by mastering appearances. The Stoics, centuries before him, taught men how to influence themselves by mastering desire. Combine both, and you become a man women can't forget, because you represent something terrifyingly rare. Discipline wrapped in mystery. Today I'm going to reveal the 7 layers of Machiavelli's dirtiest method for seduction, reforged through Stoic philosophy, to make you dangerously attractive without ever losing your integrity. Chapter 1. The Power of Controlled Absence. Machiavelli once wrote, "Men desire most what they cannot easily possess." He meant it for rulers. But in love, that law becomes even sharper. Most men believe attention equals affection. They think the more they give, the more they'll be valued. But in truth, the more available you are, the more invisible you become. The human mind doesn't crave comfort. It craves contrast. Desire only breathes in space. When you're always there, you become emotional wallpaper, seen but not felt. Controlled absence isn't about ignoring her. It's about creating polarity. It's about letting silence become a part of the conversation. Think about it. The Stoic doesn't vanish to prove a point. He withdraws to preserve his power. When you take your attention away, you remind her that your time is a privilege, not a possession. Machiavellian wisdom says scarcity increases value. Stoicism refines it. Your absence must be rooted in purpose, not pride. When Daniel stopped chasing Emily in New York, it wasn't revenge, and it was rebalancing. He turned his focus inward, gym, books, peace. And suddenly the energy shifted. She noticed. Because silence speaks when words fail. The moment you stop seeking validation, you become the validation. Controlled absence tells the world and her that you're not a beggar in love's market. You're the prize that time must earn. You are not playing games. You're protecting your energy. And in a world addicted to instant replies and constant noise, that calm detachment feels like oxygen, because every woman, deep down, is drawn to the man who doesn't need her yet chooses her. Chapter 2. The Mirror Technique. Understanding without losing yourself. In Renaissance Italy, Machiavelli learned one of the most dangerous psychological truths. People fall for those who reflect their inner world. He would listen intently, study mannerisms, repeat key emotions, and the powerful men around him felt seen. That's how he gained trust in a room full of predators. In modern love, the same energy exists. Women aren't drawn to the loudest man. They're drawn to the one who understands them, the one who can mirror their essence without collapsing into it. But here's where most men fail. They confuse mirroring with mimicry. They agree with everything she says, adopt her hobbies, parrot her beliefs. They lose their edge. And once a man loses his edge, attraction dies. The Stoic mirrors differently. He listens not to react, but to perceive. He observes emotion without becoming a hostage to it. He mirrors empathy and not identity. When she speaks, he's not scrambling for validation. He's decoding her truth. That's how masculine composure becomes emotional dominance. James from London mastered this. When Sarah, a fiery creative, spoke of her dreams, he didn't compete for attention. He amplified her passion while staying grounded in his own. His questions had weight. His silence had meaning. And when he finally spoke, it wasn't agreement, it was clarity. What's stopping you? That single question pierced through her defenses because it wasn't manipulation. It was genuine understanding guided by strength. Machiavellian mirroring manipulates for gain. Stoic mirroring connects for growth. One seeks control, the other inspires trust. When a woman feels both understood and challenged, that's when attraction transforms into respect. Because deep down, every woman wants a mirror that reflects her, but never replaces him. Chapter 3. The Art of Controlled Reveal. Seduction dies the moment mystery does. It's one of the oldest truths of human desire. The unknown pulls stronger than the known. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. In politics, he never showed his full hand. In psychology, the same principle rules. Power lies in what you withhold, not what you reveal. But here's the danger. Men often misunderstand mystery as manipulation. They hide too much, fabricate stories, or act distant to seem powerful. That's not mystery. That's insecurity dressed in arrogance. Women don't crave confusion. They crave discovery. They want to peel back the layers of a man's depth and find consistency, not chaos. In Sydney, Oliver ran a small cafe. Humble, calm, and always grounded. Olivia, a travel writer, met him by chance. Over coffee and quiet laughter, she asked about his past. He didn't pour out his life story like most men, desperate to impress. He smiled and said, "That's a long story. I'll tell you one day, if you're still curious then." That line didn't create distance. It created intrigue. It told her he valued timing over validation. It told her that he was selective with his vulnerability, not closed off, but deliberate. And that's the essence of the controlled reveal. You give her enough to feel connection, but not enough to lose curiosity. Machiavelli used the controlled reveal for strategy. He wanted to stay unpredictable in a world full of spies. But the Stoic sees it differently. He withholds not to manipulate, but to maintain integrity. He reveals slowly because truth deserves pace. Every layer of his story has purpose. Every silence has meaning. He knows that words once spoken can't be taken back, so he lets his actions carry the mystery. A Stoic man's depth isn't loud, it's discovered. And when a woman realizes she's slowly uncovering a man who's real, grounded and patient, and she doesn't just want him, she respects him. Machiavelli would have called it control. The Stoic calls it temperance. But together, they form the rarest kind of magnetism, the one that doesn't chase attention. It attracts reverence. Chapter 4. The Iron Core. Building Stoic Strength Inside. You can't play psychological chess if you're emotionally bankrupt. Tactics collapse without ballast. The cleverest strategy is a house of cards if the man holding it trembles. That's why Stoicism matters. It builds what I call the Iron Core, an inner fortress that refuses approval as its currency. Marcus Aurelius said it plainly, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. A man with an iron core doesn't pretend confidence. He has earned it. Confidence becomes a byproduct of repeated discipline. A morning that starts with purpose, a body pushed through discomfort, a mind trained to observe rather than react. Look at Michael in Toronto. He used to beg for closure, paragraphs of explanations at midnight, frantic double texts, rostered anxieties. He mistook noise for care. Then he started small rituals, journaling each morning to clarify his values, 10 minutes of stillness to see his emotions without chasing them, and a single rule, no impulse. Texting after 10 p.m., those tiny habits rewired him. He didn't harden, he steadied. The iron core shows up as composure. When someone tests you, you don't explode. You don't plead. You stand with a calm that is almost boring, and that boredom is magnetic. Women begin to notice not because you're distant, but because your presence no longer needs validation. You carry a private economy of meaning. Your life is rich enough that their presence is a compliment, not a lifeline. Stoic practices, negative visualization, voluntary discomfort, and daily reflection are not ascetic punishments. They are training. They teach you to lose small things gracefully so you can hold big things without breaking. They inoculate you against the frantic seeking that kills attraction. Here's the practical edge. When your inner world is secure, Machiavellian strategy becomes honorable. Scarcity feels authentic, silence feels purposeful, and controlled reveal feels patient rather than manipulative. Strategy needs a backbone. Without the iron core, any tactic is just showmanship. So build the center first. Cultivate rituals that require no audience. Answer your impulses with discipline. Strengthen your inner narrative until you can truly say, "I can want you and still walk away." That sentence isn't cold. It's liberating. It is the paradox at the heart of seduction. You gain control by surrendering the need to control. Chapter 5, the frame of leadership. In Machiavellian politics, whoever defines the frame defines the truth. In relationships, it's the same. The man who leads the emotional frame leads the connection. A weak man follows her mood, her schedule, her decisions. A strong man defines the rhythm, not as a tyrant but as an anchor. When she's emotional, he stays calm. When she's uncertain, he stays grounded. When she tests him, he doesn't react and he observes. This doesn't mean dominance through ego. It means leadership through direction. In Los Angeles, Aaron used to let women control every plan. Then he started saying things like, "I'm free Tuesday or Thursday, and which one works better for you?" That small shift changed everything. He wasn't demanding. He was decisive. And that decisiveness radiated masculine safety. Women crave direction because it signals strength. The Stoic man leads with calm purpose. The Machiavellian ensures his leadership never looks forced. Together, they create the rarest energy of all, quiet dominance. Chapter 6. The Dark Side Check, Ethics and Self-Control. Here's where most men fail. They taste power and poison themselves with it. Machiavelli's teachings can make you magnetic or monstrous. It depends on your intent. The Stoic philosophy exists to purify the Machiavellian instinct. It forces you to ask, does this serve truth or vanity? If you use scarcity to punish, that's manipulation. If you use mystery to deceive, that's cruelty. If you mirror without soul, then that's control, not connection. Every dark tactic has a light version when governed by ethics. The Stoic doesn't avoid power. He refines it. He becomes the man who could manipulate, but doesn't. And that's what women truly feel. Restraint with capability. It's the same reason people trust strong men more when they choose kindness, because they know he's capable of harm, yet chooses control. That's true attraction. Not weakness disguised as good, but power disciplined by virtue. Chapter 7. The Power of Emotional Restraint. Machiavelli wrote about rulers who never revealed their full emotions, because unpredictability gave them power. The Stoics wrote about men who revealed emotion only when it served wisdom. Emotional restraint doesn't mean being robotic. It means responding, not reacting. When a woman tests you, she's not trying to hurt you. She's measuring your stability. She wants to know, can this man handle my storms? If you panic, beg, over-explain, or lash out, you fail the test. If you breathe, smile, and stay calm, might she feel safe? Because restraint signals mastery. Think of Marcus Aurelius again. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When you're calm during conflict, you broadcast masculine control, not fake control or real command of your emotions. That's the ultimate seduction, not a text, not a trick, but a man who stays unshaken in a world that rewards panic. That's the man every woman remembers. Conclusion. Now you understand why Machiavelli's dirtiest method isn't really dirty. It's psychological precision when fused with Stoic integrity. You've learned the 7 layers. Controlled absence to desire through contrast. The mirror, empathy without losing yourself. Controlled reveal, curiosity through patience. The iron core, inner strength through Stoic discipline. The frame, calm leadership. Ethics, power under control. Emotional restraint, mastery through peace. When you blend Machiavellian strategy with Stoic virtue, you become untouchable. Not because you manipulate them, but because you understand. Not because you control others, but because you control yourself. And that's the paradox of true attraction. The man who needs nothing draws everything. Because women can feel when a man's center is unshakable. They can sense when his silence has intention, when his confidence isn't loud, but calm. When he looks at her, it's not to seek approval, but to see her. That kind of man doesn't chase validation, and he radiates it. He doesn't argue for his worth. He embodies it. He doesn't react to emotion, and he guides it. His power isn't in dominance, but in direction. His charm isn't in what he says, but in what he withholds. This is the ultimate form of power, quiet, grounded, and undeniable. Because the world bends to the man who bends for no one, yet remains kind, composed, and ethical. So learn the methods, but build the character. Use mystery, but never deceit. Be strategic, but never soulless. And always remember, true mastery isn't about winning people. It's about mastering yourself. Because when strength meets wisdom and darkness meets discipline, you don't seduce women. You inspire them. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.